I was talking with another parent earlier today, actually. This is such a common thought and really belief that a lot of us have is I don't feel like a mom anymore, is what she said. And if she's focusing on that, I mean, it makes sense and I understand her. I had that thought for so long. In fact, this weekend, my own experience, I had it for a brief moment and I'll explain it in a second. But when you're thinking, I don't feel like I'm a mom, then you're going to find all the ways that you don't feel like a mom. But when you instead take that, I don't feel like a mom, understand that thought, acknowledge it, and then go, okay, it makes sense that I would think that, but how do I feel like a mom? And see how that can cause you to start looking for the abundancy rather than looking for the scarcity, the loss. So it's just little ways that you can turn around, little, I don't want to say hacks, but little shifts, redirects with every negative thought that comes your way. Well, how is it that it's the opposite of that? How do I feel like an amazing mom right now? Or how do I just feel like a mom? How is that true of my life? Well, I know I had a child. I have the birth certificate to prove that, right? How else am I a mom? How am I a loving mom? Well, I can find many ways that I'm a loving mom, even from afar, you know? Okay, last thing I'll share is that this weekend, this is just more on a personal note. I have been spending time with this elderly lady. She's 81. And long story short, I'm just helping her out. Her grandson asked me to spend a half an hour with her. And in fact, those half-hour visits on my own accord have turned into like hour and a half, 2 hours each time because I'm really enjoying. She turns out to be a former social worker. And so we have a lot in common as far as what our interests are. And I knew that she, coming from where she did, she would understand what I was going through. And I never really planned on sharing it with her. But the other day, she'd asked me, I want to see a picture of her. And it was such an awkward moment at first because I hadn't yet told her anything about my daughter, about Scarlett. And so all the pictures I had of her, which was like over 1,000 on my phone, were all when she was younger. And I'd already told her that she was not younger, that she was getting ready to go to college. I it was like this moment where she was like, "Oh, you don't have any pictures of her." She didn't say it, but you could see it recently. So anyway, I ended up finding a recent picture of her that I had screenshotted from Instagram from before, which triggered this whole process of me going and searching for my daughter on Instagram. I don't go on Instagram often. Y'all, once I left the lady, I went on, looked my daughter up, right? I don't often go search on social media because I don't love the way I feel and I don't love where my mind goes. I know it's there. I just don't always check. I do it once a year, maybe, because it causes me to wonder and then whatever. And there's things that there's nothing I can do anything about. So I just don't, right? But because she had asked me and I realized that I hadn't looked, I did. And I found out that my daughter I know where she's going to school now, like for her college. And it was bittersweet, like she's going to be going in a different state than where she is and where I am, but like actually kind of in between the two. But it was bittersweet because there was a picture of her and her dad. For a moment there, I felt further away from her, even though in everybody's eyes, when you hear that, oh, well, at least when she's 18, you'll be able to contact her and all the things, right? But to me, it almost felt like I was further away from her because I was getting the information through the internet. And then I reminded myself that it's not real. It's not real. And she looked beautiful. And I'm so proud of her that she's going to the school. And no matter what her choices are or when we connect, I trust that we will, that no matter what happens, I can feel close to her right here in my heart right now. Right here, right now. And just like if I were to draw up, I was talking to another mom about looking at photos. It depends on what you're focusing on in those photos, like older photos when you were with them. You can focus on the loss and how things aren't the same as when they were in that picture. And that would cause one of those trigger-ish moments, sad moments. Or you can focus on all the joy that you experienced with them, what you were feeling at that time in that picture. And it can cause you a whole different experience. And so I just remembered that, like, I can feel close with her without her lifting a finger, without me lifting a finger. Nothing has to change for me to have a good relationship and develop an even better relationship with my daughter. We don't have to speak at all. And I can develop a better relationship with her. I can feel closer to her. I can set my intention for myself with her. I can decide the kind of mom I'm going to be day in, day out, as if she was just with me. What I do doesn't have to depend on what she does or doesn't do.